A single unemployed father from the Bronx won $5 million through the lottery from just a scratch-off ticket, but he doesn't really want anyone to know about it. However, that is in direct conflict with the New York State Lottery. Here's what's going on. The New York State Lottery requires winners of $1 million and more to participate in a press conference where they receive a giant ceremonial check for their winnings. That obligation is written on the back of each, is this pronounced ducat? Now, the Bronx man plans to sue the state's gaming commission, arguing that he should be allowed to remain anonymous due to safety concerns. So as for the legal case, his attorney is saying he intends to file it in the next few days in the Bronx Supreme Court, asking the state to make an exemption for his clients and others in similar situations. He's been living in the neighborhood his whole life. People are going to come out of the woodwork. Nobody wants that. The case is not without precedent. In March, there was a New Hampshire judge who ruled that a woman who won $560 million could remain anonymous. And before I toss to the panel, I just want to end with this quote from the man's lawyer. He said, "It's like a Frank Capra movie. Hopefully it doesn't become a John Carpenter film."
That's really funny.
So what is your take? Should he remain anonymous? What do you think?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it
100%.
should be optional. Like, what is this archaic obligation to reveal yourself? I mean, he lives in the
Because
Bronx.
of the
Like, there are some
giant check,
neighborhoods-
Max. The giant check.
Well, that is the reason, because of PR. They want you to go out there and sell the dream.
Yeah.
And so, because of course, the overwhelming majority of people don't win. Everybody else doesn't win. Your odds are not very good. But when you see the guy with the giant check on TV, it seems like, that guy looks like a regular schmo, just like me. I could win. I could win. And then, of course, that's how they make money. That's how they make a ton of money. That's why they do the lotteries.
This story immediately reminded me of the people who think it's a good idea to post their luxury items on social media. You know, the people who post pictures of their cash or like their fancy watches, whatever it is, and then a week or two later you read a story about how they got robbed because they were flaunting their cash. Now, the reason why I thought about that is because anyone who thinks ahead wouldn't want everyone knowing what they have, right? I would want to keep it, I would keep it to myself. I'm not gonna flaunt, you know, my luxury items or talk about how much money I have. That's crazy. You could become a potential target. And by the way, we don't know, you know, what kind of issues he's had with people in the past. He just doesn't want to deal with that kind of conflict. And I think that that should be his right. He shouldn't be forced in doing this ridiculous press conference.
Here, totally agree.
And it also seems like in other states they've recognized that as well. You know, with a lot of money, mo problems. So I think that is an important thing to distinguish.
Yeah. I was going to name myself 2 Chainz, but then I realized then people would know I've got 2 chains, and so that would be a problem.
I have a question for you, Cenk, really quick. So let's say you were the winner, right? $5 million, all of a sudden you have all this cash. Of course, people are gonna come out of the woodwork and start saying, giving you some sob stories. Can you please help me out? Like, I don't know, my cat broke its leg, whatever it is. But let's say it's a serious problem. Someone has some like medical bills that need to be paid. What do you do? Because you're kind of like,
You think? I was wondering where you were going with that.
so I'm just curious.
Okay, so when I first started the Young Turks, I was very, very bad at saying no. I've gotten much better. So.
Wait, you were bad at saying no at some point?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. No. Like I felt bad every time. Like, oh, you want to do that? Sure, let's do that. I think that's a really bad idea, but let's do it. Okay. So, in my personal life too, et cetera. So look, in all honesty, I've seen this happen to people not because they won the lottery, but because they, you know, wound up in a job where they got a lot of money, et cetera. And people definitely come out of the woodworks. I mean, if you've never seen your second cousins win the lottery, you'll see them. Okay, third cousins, they're coming your way. And Anna hit on the most difficult one because people come in and they go, oh man, I got this great idea for a business and it's going to be a floating couch just in case of floods and you know and that's relatively easy. No, okay. And then you'll get, I know, but like my kid needs to go to school. Yeah, but everybody's kid needs to go to school and they're all $200,000, right? That's a medium no. Then somebody comes and says, my aunt's got cancer.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, how do you say no to that?
And how do you say no? And there is no good answer to that. So this guy's like, I don't want to hear about your aunt.
He doesn't want to deal with it, yeah.
He wants
But meanwhile, the news article has a photo of him.
Well, it's
I know,
blurred.
but they blurred it so I can see what he looks like, except he looks like the Joker, right? Like take his face and smush it with the Joker from Batman, and that's what you have.
All right.
People who know him are definitely gonna know who that is.
100%.
2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below, then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.